it's the Budgeting Flight Attendant. Welcome to an updated debt confession video. Hoy, I'm a little bit nervous for this one just because since my last debt confession video, I did accumulate some debt. I was on unpaid maternity leave. I had a transmission emergency. Just a lot has happened, which I will go through as I show you guys my updated debt. I usually start off every video stuffing my YouTube engagement jar, but I am batch filming right now. I just filmed a video that will be going up after I'm filming this. So I don't know how many likes or comments that one will get. I'll insert a clip here of me stuffing this jar while I'm editing this one, because by that point I will know how much to put in there. So for now, that is to the side. But today I am updating you on my debt. Let me just go ahead and zoom you in here. I'm gonna lay out this sheet like I do when I am just tracking my debt every month, which I don't show you guys, but this is how I do it. So for the month of February, I put debt here to the left, and then here I put balance. Next, I put minimum payment, and then I put the APR, and then a column for what I paid, and then the ending balance. So I'm going to be showing you what February looks like to me. I will put totals at the end as well. But for January, I did pay off a debt. So my goal this month, if I'm following the debt snowball, is to put an extra, let's see, an extra $243.16 somewhere here. And the thing is, I might decide to put that extra payment towards something else instead of the first debt for different reasons. And again, I will explain that as I go. But I am gonna put this in the format of like the debt snowball. So the lowest debt to the highest debt. So first debt is going to be my 401k loan number one. On my last debt confession, I did not have 401k loans written down, and the reason for that is because I forgot I had any. They are automatically deducted from my paycheck. I don't go through my pay stub with a fine-tooth comb every time. And I took out two, and this was like years ago, and I forgot that I did it. And the only reason I was reminded that I had these is because I went on to unpaid maternity leave, so I wasn't receiving any paychecks. So I got something in the mail that said I could either keep making payments out of like my account, or I could just not pay anything until I'm back to active status. It was put on pause, basically, is what they were telling me. And when I received that letter, I was like, oh my God, I forgot I had those. But anyway, fortunately for me, they are right next to each other on the debt snowball. They are both fairly low amounts compared to my other debts. So I'm gonna put 401k loan number one and 401k loan number two. The first one is a total of $683.53. And there's a minimum payment of $23.03 a month, and that is deducted from my paycheck. It's got an 8.5% APR. And 401k loan number two has a balance of $803.65 with a minimum payment coming out of my check automatically of $27.96 per month and an APR of 4.5%. So those are those two loans right there. The next one is my airline card. I'm not gonna say which one it is because it is the airline I work for. My airline credit card. That one has a balance of $882.62, and it's got a minimum payment of $32.46 and an APR of 25.24%, which kills me. Then my next debt is we'll call it B. I don't want to say the names of my banks. I'm not sure if that matters, but I'll call it Bank B credit card. That one is a balance of $1,980 even. There's a minimum monthly payment of $63, and the APR on that one is 26.74%. Then I'll say Bank C credit card. I'm doing this because ABC, like airline. Anyway, Bank C credit card has a balance of $2,610.58. There's a minimum payment of $99, and there is an interest rate of 29.98%. This is my highest interest rate out of all my debts, is that one. These credit card balances might be higher than my last debt confession as well, because like I said, I was on unpaid maternity leave. I drained my savings because of that transmission emergency before I went out on leave. So all I had left really was my credit cards, and there was already balances on all of them, I think. So I really just added on to it, and now like these interest rates are crazy, and it added on to the balance. So these are pretty important for me to knock out. So that's what happened with those. I also have a personal loan from Bank B, which I don't remember when I pulled that. I can't remember if that was while I was in flight school. I can't remember if that was like right before I went on maternity leave or when, like after I found out I was pregnant. I don't know. I know I did a lot of panic borrowing with my pregnancy and with maternity leave, so that's kind of where all of this is coming from. So that personal loan has $2,797.46 and a minimum payment of $112 and an APR of 14.9%. There is a line of credit that I have always had but never used. I definitely added on to that with everything going on. So that has a total of $2,931.24. Minimum payment monthly of $66 and APR of 16.5%. Running out of ink here. This might drive you crazy, but I had to get a different pen because I was running out of ink. It's just another blue though, so hopefully it's not too different. Anyways, okay, so next is my car loan. I still have not paid that off. And that has a balance of, oh no, not this one too, $5,865.46. There is a minimum monthly payment of $325.73, and there's a 10% interest rate, which I know is a lot for a car, but when I first borrowed on that car, I actually had a different loan, and the interest rate on it at that time was 24%, which is even crazier. I did not really have any credit at that time, so. And finally, I owe my mom. If you guys were with me before I went on maternity leave, I did have to emergency replace my transmission on my Subaru, and that cost me, the total for that was around 10 grand, which is crazy, but transmission costs, like the service for transmission is known to be expensive, so I knew it was going to be a problem walking into it, but Anyways, I had to get a loan. I was able to put up front, I think around like $3,000, but I had to get a loan for the rest of it, which had 0% interest rate for 90 days, I think it was. And I was like, you know what, I can grind and get it. But I was like super pregnant at the time, and I got so tired at work going up and down in the airplanes, and I was able to pay like 1,000 of it, but by the time the due date came around, I couldn't pay any more of it. And my mom was like, oh my God, no interest rate, because it would jump at that point to like 125%, something crazy like that. So my mom was like, absolutely not, here's, you know, $6,000 for the rest of the balance. And she never told me that I had to pay it back, but you know, me having borrowed that money from my mom, in my mind, I have to pay it back. You guys have seen me stuff a mom envelope in the family binder, and that is me paying her back. There's already $60 stuffed in there, so I still owe her $5,960. Obviously there's a $0 minimum payment on that and a 0% interest rate. But yeah, so I don't think I would necessarily be in this deep of a situation if I wasn't, if I didn't get pregnant, if I didn't go on unpaid maternity leave, but I don't want to make excuses for myself. At the end of the day, the fact of the matter is I got into this debt and I lived above my means, and I didn't save enough for maternity leave, clearly. So I'm gonna go ahead and add this up really quick. All right, so there is a grand total of $24,514.54, which is higher than my last debt confession video, but you know what? This is where I'm at, and I'm going to be working very hard at paying this down. Like I said, I did away with all my other goals. Those are not realistic while I have debt here. I need to be able to build my wealth to be able to achieve my other goals that I have in mind. I'm ready for this debt to be gone. It's taking too much of my paycheck. I mean, look at these minimum payments, you guys. So I remember mentioning earlier that, you know, the extra payments I make might go towards different things for, you know, different months. And the reason for that is because, like, if I see an interest charge on like the C credit card, 29.98%. When I see a charge of like $78 after I've made a $99 payment, that kills me. So sometimes, like, I can't help it. Sometimes I put my extra debt payments towards this. Also, I do want to sell my car. My parents gifted me, my fiance, a truck. It is in my name, but they gifted me a truck. It's paid off. It has title. This is not paid off. I don't need 2 vehicles. My fiance has his own vehicle, so we have a total of 3 in the driveway. We don't need it. So the truck is very sentimental because it's been in my family for 20 years, so I don't want to get rid of the truck. So I'm going to try to sell my car, and I would rather try to sell private to try to make a little bit more money off of it. So part of me kind of wants to pay this down so that I don't have to do the whole puzzle of figuring out how to give them the title when I still owe on my loan. So part of me wants to hurry up and sell this, pay this down, sell it, and then use whatever I make from that sale towards the debt snowball. And also my dad let me know that they are gonna have to replace their roof, and that's gonna cost them around 30 grand. So I also kind of have a pull towards paying my mom off sooner. And then I also want to, you know, do the debt snowball, follow that, trust that process, and start with my 401k loans. Plus that would make some interest in my 401k, but anyways, I'm just kind of all over the place with how I want to pay this off. If you guys have any suggestions of how to go about that, I welcome them in the comments. I might still do what I do anyway, but it's really nice to have other people's insight because you guys think of things that I've never thought of before. Let me know in the comments what your thoughts are on that. Let me know if you're comfortable sharing. How much debt are you in? Do you have a goal date? I'm kind of thinking of paying even more than that. I mean, I want to. I definitely want to. And I'm gonna try to be debt-free by August because when I look back in my notes, I had the highest total of debt in August of 2024, so just a few months ago. And this number was like 29,000 something. So I have actually paid a significant amount down, but I'm gonna set the goal date of August. Let's just say that. Pay off by August. There it is in writing. Pay off by August. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your week. I don't know when I'm gonna be posting this. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.